APC's Oyebamiji picks ex-rep candidate Benjamin Adereti as running mate in Osun 2026 governorship poll. Court acquits Apc'S of 23 counts of asset declaration charge. On the foreign scene, U.S. President Donald Trump reportedly wants a role in choosing Iran's next leader. Good evening. This is News at 7 on Western Spring Television. My name is Damilola Raphael. The Kano State House of Assembly has initiated impeachment proceedings against the Deputy Governor of the state, Aminu Abdulsalam Gwarzo, over allegations of gross misconduct, abuse of office, and breach of public trust. The impeachment notice was presented during plenary by the Majority Leader of the House, Lawan Hussaini Dala, who says the action was taken in line with Section 188 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. Dala told lawmakers that the allegations relate to Abdulsalam's tenure as Commissioner for Local Government between 2023 and 2024, as well as his current position as Deputy Governor. According to him, the Deputy Governor allegedly participated in the diversion of funds meant for the administration of the state's 44 local government councils during his tenure as Commissioner overseeing the sector. The Majority Leader alleged that between June 2023 and January 2024, Abdulsalam received a monthly kickback of 1.5 million naira from each of the 44 local government areas. The impeachment notice also accused the Deputy Governor of abuse of office. Dala alleged that Abdulsalam used his position as Commissioner to facilitate payments of 10 million naira each from the 44 local government councils to Novomed Pharmaceuticals Limited. The former Commissioner for Finance in Kano State, Kabir Dandago, has died. The Director of Information at Bayero University, Kano, Lamara Garba, confirmed the death of the Professor of Accounting and Taxation. Garba said Dandago died on Wednesday evening at the Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital. Dandago served as Kano State Commissioner for Finance between June 2015 and October 2018 during the administration of former Governor Abdullahi Ganduje. He was also a former Dean of the Faculty of Social and Management Sciences at Bayero University, Kano. Funeral arrangements are expected to be announced by the family. To security, suspected Boko Haram terrorists have reportedly killed a yet-to-be-ascertained number of civilians and abducted many women in Ngoshi, Goza local government area of Borno State during an attack on a military position in the area. It was gathered that terrorists attacked the military base in the community before proceeding to kill and abduct civilians on Wednesday morning. The attackers, according to eyewitnesses, operated for hours using motorcycles and gun trucks. Confirming the incident today, the spokesperson of the Borno State Police Command, ASP Nahum Dasso, said many residents are still missing. He disclosed that the terrorist group attacked the military base in Goza around 1 a.m. on Wednesday, noting the military were able to repel them. He revealed that preliminary reports indicated an unknown number of civilians yet to be ascertained were also affected and killed, adding that some are still missing. The police image maker confirms that the community is currently calm, noting that the military has taken charge of the area. Locals who spoke to newsmen confirms that 9 soldiers were killed in the attack and many residents have fled the area. In the meantime, a new era begins for the Nigeria Police Force as acting IGP Olatunji Disu officially takes the reins as the 23rd Indigenous Inspector General of Police, succeeding Kayode Egbetokun, who resigned in February. Our correspondent, Gift Oladipo, takes a closer look at the man set to now lead the charge against national insecurity. Here is the report.
Olatunji Rilwan Disu, born on the 13th of April 1966 in the city of Lagos, joined the Nigerian police on May 18, 1992 as a cadet assistant superintendent. Over the course of his career, he has served as Divisional Police Officer (DPO) in several locations, including Agoiwoye in Osun State, Ikare and Owo in Ondo State, as well as Rivers State. He served as the commander of the Lagos State Rapid Response Squad (RRS) between June 13, 2015 and August 2021. It was during this period that DSU named its officers the good guys, a move that helped reformed officers to enforce the law responsibly yet remain friendly to citizens while carrying out their activities. Over the years, DSU has held critical operational, investigative, and strategic command positions nationwide. His last position was as an Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of the police of the Special Protection Unit and the Force CID, Annex Lagos. On the 24th of February 2026, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu appointed Olatunji Disu Rilwan as the Acting Inspector General of Police, succeeding Kayode Egbetokun after his resignation. President Tinubu, during the decoration ceremony, expressed confidence in Disu's ability to restore public confidence in the police force, while recanting his personal knowledge of him from the tenure as Lagos State Governor.
This decision for you to assume this responsibility, because I know your record. I believe in dedication that you've exhibited while you were in Lagos and I was the governor of Lagos State. And now you assume this responsibility at a defining moment for our nation's security, and expect you to strengthen the discipline, enhance interagency collaboration, and restore public confidence in Nigerian police.
In response, Disu promised to justify the confidence reposed in him, vowing to end impunity and enforce zero tolerance for corruption within the force. Speaking at the handover, he noted that his tenure will be built on three clear commitments: professionalism, modernism, and accountability. However, the appointment of Disu as Inspector General of Police by President Tinubu represents more than a routine leadership transition. It arrives at a moment when Nigerians' internal security challenges have reached a high level of complexity.
We are very ready, and we have always supported state police because it will reduce the burden on the federal government and it will make us more responsive and more responsible as state governors. Although it is expensive, but certainly it is something that must be done because security of safety of life and property is the main thing that we can provide. I have seen the importance of security in my state because we have had a lot of security good situation where some micro and macroeconomic activities are going on, and it has really raised the GDP.
On the 2nd of March, the Nigerian Police Council, NPC, at its council meeting confirmed Disu as the substantive Inspector General of Police, formally ratifying his appointment as Nigeria's 23rd Inspector General of Police.
He went through his records, his performance in office, and the recommendation, and the council was glad to approve the recommendation for him to be appointed the Inspector General of Police.
On numerous occasions, President Tinubu has promised that his administration will create state police as part of the measures to address the country's insecurity. And on Wednesday, Disu inaugurated an 8-member committee to oversee the implementation of state police and the rollout of his policing vision following his confirmation as the 23rd indigenous IGP.
Following my assumption of office as the Inspector General of Police, this gathering marks not just the beginning of a new administrative phase, but the opening of a defining chapter in the life of our institution. Leadership, it has been said, is not about position. Not about the position one occupies, but the responsibility one accepts. Today, I stand before you fully conscious of the weight of this responsibility and the high expectation of our officers, our nation, and Nigerian people.
While the IGP's profile offers a promising roadmap for reform in Nigerian police, the ultimate measure lies in the day-to-day experience of Nigerians.
It is staying on the road for them to collect 1, 2, 3 naira from people. It's an extortion. It should stop all those things. We believe the new Inspector General of Police will be able to do that for us in this country.
The new IG should look into this issue of insecurity very, very well.
across Nigeria: insurgency, banditry, organized crime, cyber threats, separatist agitations, and rising urban criminality intersect with youth unemployment and declining public trust in state institutions. In this environment, leadership of the Nigerian police force is no longer merely administrative, it is strategic and deeply symbolic. Gift Oladepo, Western Spring Television.
And turning to politics, the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Oyebamiji, expects the 2023 House of Representatives candidate of the party for a federal constituency election, Benjamin Adereti, as his running mate in the 2026 governorship poll. Adereti, who lost the 2023 election to Bimbo Adelesoro, said then of the People's Democratic Party, replaced ex-state lawmaker Tunde Olatunji, who was listed in the previous list released by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Also on the list released by INEC on Wednesday, ex-speaker of Osun State House of Assembly, Najim Salam, contesting the governorship poll on the platform of the African Democratic Congress, chose a female running mate, Yemisi Agiri. The incumbent governor, Ademola Adeleke, retained his current deputy, Kola Adelsi, as his running mate on the platform of Accord. The Osun State governorship poll will hold on August 15, with 14 political parties cleared for the poll. However, notable among political parties that have no candidates for the poll includes the People's Democratic Party and the Labour Party. The lawmaker representing Bayelsa West Senatorial District, Senator Seriake Dixon, has defected from the People's Democratic Party to the newly registered Nigeria Democratic Congress. Senator Dixon announced his decision at a press conference held this afternoon at his residence in Abuja, where he said the opposition party that once dominated Nigeria's political landscape had deteriorated significantly. The former governor of Bayelsa State expressed sadness over what he described as the declining state of the PDP, noting that the party, which once brought hope and excitement to his people, had become gravely ill. The senator also accused some PDP governors of undermining the party's strengths by aligning with the ruling All Progressives Congress, a development he said had worsened the party's internal crisis and weakened its position. According to him, the situation compelled him to chart a new political path by joining the Nigeria Democratic Congress, a newly registered political party approved by the Independent National Electoral Commission. His defection comes amid growing concerns about internal divisions within the PDP and a wave of defections by party members to other political platforms ahead of the 2027 general elections. In the court, the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has discharged and acquitted Abba Kyari, a suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police, of a 23-count charge bordering on the alleged non-declaration of assets filed against him by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA. Kyari was charged alongside his two brothers, who were accused of swearing to false affidavits in an alleged attempt to conceal the origin of some properties. In his judgment, Justice James Omotosho held that the NDLEA failed to provide sufficient evidence to prove the allegations against the defendants, particularly regarding the alleged non-declaration of landed properties. Justice Omotosho noticed that the prosecution failed to present any of these forms of evidence to establish that the properties located at Fountain Estate, Karsana, which belonged to Ramatu Kyari, were actually owned by Abba Kyari. In his defense, Kyari maintained that the properties in Borno State belonged to his late father, who left them for him and his siblings. The court held that the prosecution failed to prove otherwise. Moving on, the federal government has reiterated its commitment to strengthening the integrity of academic records and improving institutional compliance across the education sector as part of broader reforms aimed at safeguarding the credibility of the country's educational system. The government also stated that it had taken decisive steps to curb certificate fraud, following reports that Nigerians had obtained questionable degrees from unaccredited institutions abroad. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, disclosed this during his keynote address at a national capacity building program for school representatives today. Addressing participants, the minister underscored the importance of reliable data in governance and policymaking. He said without data, they are flying blind. And that is not what the government is about, noting that reliable data enables ministry to understand the challenges they face so as to design and implement effective solutions, as well as monitor and evaluate their progress. According to the minister, NERD is a strategic national infrastructure designed to digitize, standardize, and authenticate academic records across tertiary institutions in the country. Elsewhere, the Cross River State House of Assembly has suspended the member representing Obubra 1 State constituency, Dixon Agbo, indefinitely over alleged violent conduct. The resolution was reached during today's plenary after a motion was moved by David Zeta and seconded by Francis Bassi Asuko. Moving the motion, Honorable Eta condemned the alleged violent conduct involving Agbo, describing it as behavior unbecoming of a lawmaker and contrary to the ethical standards expected of members of the legislative arm. Following deliberations, the House resolved that Agbo be placed on indefinite suspension from all legislative activities pending further investigation into the allegation. The Assembly also approved the constitution of an ad hoc committee to investigate the matter and reported findings back to the House for further legislative action. Following the resolution, Agbo was escorted out of the chamber by the sergeant-at-arms in compliance with the directive of the House. Earlier, the state governor, Bassi Otu, and his wife, Enyoanwa Otu, had criticized the lawmakers' alleged actions, describing them as irresponsible. However, in a statement today, Agbo's wife, Glory Agbo, called for privacy and said the matter had been resolved within the family. Still to come, Nigeria's grid operator says gas shortage drags power generation below 4,000 megawatts. We will bring you more on this when we return.
James Ajibolaige was a lawyer who obtained his first degree in classics from Nigeria's premier University of Ibadan. Born September 13, 1930, the orator and the polyglot spoke impeccable English, French, Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba languages. His fine diction placed him among classical orators and public speakers like Cicero, the Roman orator. This attribute earned him the prefix Cicero of Esauke. He authored Kaduna Boy, an autobiography, Detainee's Diary, Constitution, and the People, among 6 other books. Bolaige was a colorful politician, elected governor of Oyo State in 1979, and